Is your olive oil a fake? Yes, companies literally putting other oils in the olive oil. How to ensure that you're getting the real stuff and all the benefits from it. I'm gonna break it down right here in this video and even take you shopping to show you how you can spot this and pick the right one out. So it's Dr. Livingood, and the first study was out of University of California, Davis, and they partnered with Australian scientists to determine whether olive oils, they tested some California grocery stores, and they looked at international olive oil, and then they looked at olive oil that was actually produced in California, because a lot of it comes from the European region. And then in 2017, there was a Danish study to actually look into the same thing. And what they found shook all foodies around the world, especially for olive oil. And they found that 69% of the international oils failed to meet international acceptable standards for extra virgin olive oil. So extra virgin is the type that I would always recommend, because I'm laughing at this because I'm like, this is shocking that they can even do this to your food. So extra virgin, because they just use processing, they just smash the oils, right, with machinery, as opposed to heating it. If you heat it, you risk denaturing it. That's why you should never heat up olive oil. If it smokes, you've now turned it rancid. It's also why I really like things like avocado oil, because it's just so stable. Right, so olive, you got to protect it. So extra virgin is like the gold standard, but they started to get a little tricky, and they're adding in other types of oils into the olive oil. So pure extra virgin olive oil is pretty green in color. So if you start to get into that yellow, like I've gone to a few restaurants before, and I'm like, there's no way that's olive oil. That's got to be canola, or a lot of time safflower or sunflower that they mix in with it, and they even add food colorings. And so they found that 60% of extra virgin olive oils imported in the United States have this problem, because the European Union, for whatever reason, usually it's the opposite, isn't monitoring it and testing it enough. And then in the 2017 Danish study, they found that only 6 of 35 products that they looked at were actually what they said they were of extra virgin olive oil. In fact, there was one study where like they're getting like mobs involved, right? And in some of these, like they're kind of, getting in on it, and then they're like making extra money, and they're like skimming off the top. And it actually made 20,000 people really sick, because they put in rapeseed oil, which is canola, into it, and it was rancid, and it made a bunch of people sick. So that's one way you could get a sensitivity to an actual alternative oil being in there if you had a sensitivity. But other than that, a lot of us, you and I, we wouldn't know. So like color, unless you really dumped a bunch of them out and compared, unless it's really obvious, or you have some type of sensitivity. So what do you do? And so a couple key tips. When they did the study, they found that the California oils 90+% of the time were as exact as they said, and they're much more tightly regulated. So getting it in the United States would be the way to go, all right? And then tip number 2, which is a big one, don't get blended oils. If it says blended, now you are asking for an introduction of olives from over here and olives from over here and combine together, and maybe we'll dump a little bit of that in there. Like, just try to get one pure source if you can. Single sourced, California probably is where you're gonna get it. United States based olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. Now, I really like avocado because you can heat it hotter. You're gonna want that along the same lines, 100% pure avocado oil. It's one of my favorite. Coconut, I like it because you heat hotter as well. You get much less, like you can't fool with coconut oil. Like it just is, like you're not putting anything else in there. So olive, kind of got to be watching for it. So what I did is I took a trip to the grocery store at the beautiful Nurse Livingood, and we went through aisle by aisle, and one of the sections we stopped at was cooking oils, the dangers of some of them, what we're looking for them. So I put that video right here. So come to the store with me and let me show you how to shop.